There's a midfield player wide on the left-hand side, which is something of a sacrifice of his skills. Massaro trying to propel the ball into the heart of the Juventus penalty area. And that's Ancelotti! Wow! Inside the first minute of the second half. And a volley, top class, top corner. Well, that's the second look, and they can go on showing it as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it was a great long throw-in from Massaro. You see Rijkaard in the penalty box, challenging there, and it breaks to Ancelotti, and that's an absolute stunning volley.
Donadoni takes it. Here's Carlo Ancelotti, who likes to shoot from the edge of the area, and you can see why. He's back with a bag. Well, Sampdoria will be angry with themselves that that free kick ever materialised, and then they were a little slow to get to Ancelotti. It swerved and left the goalkeeper completely beaten. Cracker from Carlo Ancelotti, 1-1.
With the corner, goalkeeper Ferron came for it. Tunisia missed out there. Ancelotti! Brilliant strike, and AC Milan go in front. Ivani with the corner. Ferron came for it here, but they hadn't completely got it clear. Tunisia missed his header away, and Ancelotti really driving it through.
Well, the shot was blocked, and he loves to shoot from long range. So too does Tassotti! That's what you call a snapshot. There was no build-up. In fact, the ball was given away by Fiorentina, but Tassotti was really on his toes. They were looking to play their way out of trouble here by finding Di Chiara. And Tassotti read it and slammed it past Landucci.
Donadoni beyond Hullet. Oh, but a mistake at the back, and Hullet! An incredible goal! What a shot then by Hullet. On the volley, he must have been almost 25 yards out. Donadoni's pass looked to have gone astray. A blunder at the back. And what a drive by Hullet, and that's some way to score your first goal of the season.
Corner, it's Tassotti who hit it superbly! What a great goal! Mauro Tassotti, the Milan defender who was actually born here in Rome, had a spell with Lazio, had a birthday only 3 days ago. He was 29, and what a way to celebrate it. A magnificent strike. Baresi again, just a hopeful hook forward. Vidic holds it up, turns away from Odi, finds Ivani. Hullet's got forward this time, but the cross was not hit deep enough. Maldini, Ivani can try again. This time Vidic has made a move into the middle and finds Van Basten. He's onside and he scores this time. A much more difficult chance. But Milan have regained the lead. Joy mixed with relief for the scorer. But look at the roll from Vidic. A perfect touch. It was Manfredonia who played him onside. And a quality goal from the Milan viewpoint, although Roma will be very disappointed in the way they defended there. Hussein, Hullet really looking now the accomplished performer we know he is. He wasn't that way with a succession of injuries at the start of the season. This is Ancelotti. Oh, they've done it again. Another goal from midfield. Another one that will live long in the memory. Carlo Ancelotti. Well, we've seen him do it before. And Landucci can feel aggrieved. He's been beaten twice now from distance by excellent shots. That carried too much force for the goalkeeper. Possibly that replay indicating that he might have done a little better with it. He had no chance with the first goal. He had a reasonable side of this one, but it was too powerful for him. Not really a clear-cut chance as yet for the league leaders. Maybe it will materialise here from Ivani's corner. And it's a goal! Carlo Ancelotti. He's done that before from that distance. Certainly one, maybe two deflections along the way. That goal was on for him if he'd have fancied trying that. It's all about selecting the right option. Gullit for Massaro and Van Basten. Milan have been showing the craft and the class. They've hit the bar.
Here's Tassotti. I'm in search of Van Basten, who's so good at finding space for himself. A teasing ball into Papan arrived, and Gullit has scored. Cracking goal from Gullit.
My goodness, what a fantastic goal. And it's all because of the man Van Basten. I think he is the one player that will find himself in the side every week. He is possibly the best centre-forward in world football today. And he's running off the ball is superb. Gave Tassotti a great position in which he could pass the ball. Has good cross into the box on the volley. It's actually not the worst save in the world, but comes straight out to Gullit on the volley, first time. And Bob's your uncle. There it is, a fantastic goal. Nearly every game last season and did very, very well, and they were undefeated, won the league championship, and all of a sudden finds himself on the bench, and a player of his calibre really wants to play week in, week out.
Papan, oh, he's through here. Is this another one? It has to be. Jean-Pierre Papan, 2 goals in 2 minutes for Milan.
I'd actually forgot that Papan was playing. I think that's the first time that he's touched the ball. But if you watch this pass from Gullit, it's not so much the pass, but it's the running off the ball which creates the goal. Papan pulls off the shoulder of his marker. There he goes, gives Gullit that angle in which to hit it. Crivero can't reach it, but that's fantastic stuff from Papan. Absolutely great goal.
What a battle Inter have put up. Rijkaard. Now Tassotti. Now Fuze. Massaro in the middle. Massaro!
And again in 90, and something has to give today with these two teams in such splendid form. And what a start then. Maldini has headed Milan in front inside the first minute. A sensational start.
Had the best opportunity. We might have another one here with Rijkaard. Cross from Van Basten, just too long for Gullit to try and complete the Dutch triangle. Gullit again. Did very well to get his cross in, and it's produced a goal for Maldini. Well, Milan determined here to finish their all-conquering season on that very note. Baresi. Juventus looking weary now and struggling to hold out. Ivani. Here's Van Basten. Terrific character and also high class. Few players would have had the quality opportunity here to use all the time that was available to make sure of the shot, to make sure it was a scoring shot. But Marco van Basten is a player of that pedigree. Bonetti misjudged the header. That was costly for Juventus. The difficulty for Milan is to keep moving the ball swiftly on this muddy pitch. Well, Ivani is in a useful position here. Very useful, that's Massaro! They've only had to wait 2 minutes into the second half to beat Giuliani. And Daniele Massaro came through a line of defenders to meet Ivani's cross. He thought quickly, he moved quickly, and that's the result. And that's what most of this huge crowd in this magnificent stadium have been waiting to see. It was a splendid header. Ivani moves from left to right to take it. That's Maldini! A splashing header, 2-0. And that might be too much for Napoli now. And all the while there has been the suspicion that Milan have been the stronger side in the air. And both goals have come from headers.
And this time the more direct approach by Antonioli. Now Fusa, the substitute, has got a chance to take on defenders here. He's done well. He's done very well. Terrific goal then by Fusa. And the substitute has done it again. He came on to score the equaliser in the draw with Torino last week. And now he's eased the tensions here with 5 minutes to go. And just look at these scenes of celebration among the Milan crowd and, of course, the Milan players. Great run by Fusa, who's actually joining Lazio next season. Maybe now Milan won't be so keen to let him go. A really positive run. And the finish too strong for Fiori. Now, Ivani. Much fluency about Milan. Here's Maldini now. Good turn by him. Van Basten's pulled into the middle. It's up to Massaro. Fabulous finish then by Massaro. The dummy by Van Basten. And Massaro with a thunderous finish.
Rijkaard, pull it to the right. And now making the angle. Beautiful pass. And a classic goal again for Milan. Within 10 minutes of the second half, it's going their way with a vengeance. And Rijkaard emerging from the shadows to provide the pass of the game. And Hullet read it, converted it, 2-0.
Top inside, Donadoni. Thought about the shot, now does so. Oh, it took a deflection. Lombardo away, another deflection. And this time the woodwork saves the visitors. Baresi forward. Rijkaard stayed in there. Rijkaard again! And Milan get their just desserts after dominating the opening half an hour. And Rijkaard, who had one brilliant effort against Juventus in the Cup, makes this one pay this time. Maldini to Van Basten. Maldini's gone for the return. That's the speed, that's the pace we were talking about. Maldini, Massaro missed it. Ivani! 2-0! The goal scorer, Alberigo Ivani. And a poor clearance led to it, but what a brilliant run by Maldini. He pulls it up, Pierre Cavod, slip shot defending, and Ivani punishes him for it with his first league goal of the season. Tassotti losing their men at will here. Donadoni. Oh, the shot was a cracker by Albertini, and Van Basten! And Van Basten gets his 22nd goal of the season. Donadoni Jota, Donadoni in acres of space, a one-horse race here. Donadoni to take on Lombardo, he's done it so effortlessly, pulls it back, chance for number 4, and cracked home by Daniele Massaro. But all the work done by Donadoni, he's been left so cruelly exposed to the keeper. Donadoni and Massaro thumps home number 4, but it's there close. Rijkaard back to Massaro. Albertini here, has to stretch. Oh, he's still got the cracker in! And that's number 5 and the best goal of the game! And Dimitrio Albertini leaves Pagliuca clutching at thin air. What a cracker with 3.5 minutes to go. And 3 goals in a blistering 4-minute spell. He did well here because it's run too far for him.
Trying to link up with Van Basten, but failing to do so. Maybe they can try again. Donadoni. Here's Van Basten now. Rijkaard's got ahead of him. This is Rijkaard, and that's the second goal. Magnificent finish from Rijkaard. And what a combination to produce the goal.
Good heavens, what a fantastic goal. It was a marvellous ball from Donadoni, but the first touch and layoff from Van Basten was quite wonderful. Rijkaard breaking from deep. He just hit it from 18 yards, and it made it look so simple. Here's the first touch of Van Basten. Second one lays a perfect pass into his stride, and Rijkaard on the volley to the right of Garland. It gives him no chance whatsoever. Fantastic football.
Ivani taking the free kick. And it back was from Maldini. And another goal. Massaro makes it 3. And the Napoli defenders then seem almost static. 3 minutes to half-time. And Massaro, Daniele Massaro, makes it 3-0. But they haven't created too many problems for Milan in the second half, so far anyway. Not so at the other end. This is Donadoni. He's got Massaro in the middle, and Ivani. Still Donadoni! Oh, what a goal! Fantastic shot from Donadoni. And you'll not see a cleaner strike on that anywhere in world football.
My word, that is another fantastic goal. Fantastic goal. Donadoni cutting inside. Prepared to take on 2 defenders. He's got tremendous pace off the mark. It's a terrific shot into the far corner. Giving Gali no chance at all. That's a great goal.
Well, just a couple of league appearances this season, both as substitute. And there's the goal! That's it. Now Van Basten is on the score sheet. Emphatically finished. And it's 5 to Milan.
Well, we've seen some fantastic goals this afternoon, and that was another wonderful goal. Italian sides don't often work on their corners and free kicks, but this one has obviously been worked. The ball into the near post, used so much by us in our football. Another great ball in. And there's Maldini up to flick it on, and Van Basten never misses from there.
Young Italian international. Still only in his early 20s. He seems to have been around for years. But then he started his professional career so young. Van Basten. Oh, now then for Rijkaard. Is this the first goal? It is, in the most emphatic fashion too. Rijkaard the scorer. And Napoli were torn apart then. Gloriously created goal and finished in style.
Here is Massaro. Simone. Waiting for Hullet. Van Basten. Roger trying to hold a line of defenders. Oh! They left it to the goalkeeper, and Hullet simply belted the ball past him. So it's 2-2 inside 2 minutes of the second half. Look at the number of defenders back there who thought they'd done the job really by letting Hullet shoot from that angle. So Milan scored first, then were 2-1 down. Now they're level again and looking especially capable of regaining their lead. Van Basten, there you are, there you are. Number 24 for the season, the 5th goal of this particular game. And Milan have flexed their muscles since the second half got underway. 2 goals in 7 minutes to turn a 2-1 deficit into a 3-2 lead. It really is a major record to be broken, to become the first champions to go through an Italian season without losing a match. Massaro, Simone has got time to turn. Oh, and it's just cruelly been deflected in. So it's all going the way of Milan. Matricano went across, and it took a very big touch off his boot as he really tried to jump out of the way of it, in fact. And that's an own goal. And it's Foggia 2, Milan 4. You can see the extent of the deviation there. No chance for Mancini. Let. Releasing the ball for Rijkaard. And Simone. And Foggia are left with absolutely no answer. The full might of Milan has simply blown them away in the second half. Van Basten. Oh, Mancini have to read the spin. He's stranded. Van Basten, Simone. It's chaos at the back. And now the goalkeeper is culpable. And it's 6. Donadoni really going for the heart of Foggia. Massaro is there. Who's he going to tee it up for? It's Van Basten. It is 7. Eight minutes to go. Number 25 for the leading scorer. Yet another honour that's going to come Milan's way. There's never any doubt about that, of course, before today. Donadoni was held up by Padolino, but there were players in white everywhere wanting the gift of the goal. It went to Marco Van Basten. Van Basten, Rijkaard. And look at the resolve that Milan is still showing. Well, the problem here is not beating the opposition, it's beating the fans. Well, Fusa, beating the opposition is a piece of cake. Who'd have thought that at half-time? So they've got...
Milan hoping to cancel out that earlier goal from Benedetti. Here's Baresi! That's the equaliser. Franco Baresi, the AC Milan captain, coming forward for the back as he so often does with menace. It's Simone who returns the pass to him, and Baresi makes it 1-1.
Assanti. Colombo assessing what's on in the middle and finding Hullet. Here's Van Basten. It's 2-0. It's Evani. It's also a stupendous start by the home side. They join in the celebrations in the dugout. A pretty orthodox ball in from Hullet. And Van Basten at the moment is unmarkable. A header down perfectly, and Evani steered it in by the underside of the bar.
Ancelotti just touching it off. Here's Hullet! Well, he seems to relish playing against Verona. He scored a brilliant goal against them earlier in the season, and he strikes again here in the most emphatic fashion. Ruud Hullet. What a goal.
And a whistle. Now, a fortnight later, Milan kept themselves in the title race. They had to win against bitter rivals Inter.
That's great control by Van Basten. It's deflected. Goal! Milan score. Senga chases the referee.
Beat at Lazio meant that Milan in the red and black had a chance to extend their lead at the top when they faced Ancona. Rijkaard with that first chance, Van Basten with number 2, denied by a goalkeeper and the upright. Jean-Pierre Papin has been satirised on a French TV puppet show as a sullen player. This the spitting image of a world-class striker. Though the ball is fired straight at the goalkeeper, it's far too hot to handle. Papin was soon turning provider for Van Basten. Van Basten was soon returning the compliments with the aid of Bruniera's header. Papin, starting only his 5th league game for Milan, scored his 2nd of the game just after half-time. There have been reports Papin was ready to pack his bags and return to France. He was singing a very different tune after this game. Evany was looking to increase Milan's lead. And then Rijkaard spread panic in Ancona's defence with that driven cross. Ancona had the audacity to mount a rare attack of their own. Costa Curta almost cost Milan a goal. Milan ran out 2-0 winners and raced 6 points clear of the pack, scoring 6 minutes before half-time. Lentini to Van Basten, who tapped the ball back for the world's costliest player to unleash a truly unstoppable shot past Senga. It was a world-class finish from the world's most expensive footballer. Cassotti. Pull it. Cassotti's cross. Oh, there's the equaliser. And it's Massaro who's got it. Former Fiorentina player returns to the Stadio Comunale and drags Milan back into this game. Baresi. Albertini. Fiorentina have conceded a lot of space in midfield, and in defence, Lentini. That's 2-1 Milan. You can't afford to sit back and let the Italian champions pass the ball around at will inside the last third of the field. Lentini and Van Basten play that neat 1-2. Then Van Basten wins the ball back for Milan. Rijkaard. Hullitz. Oh, brilliant goal! Hullitz, who's been so disappointed about being left out to the Milan team, now returns with a brilliant strike. Milan defence stays firm. And Milan soon translate defence into attack. Hullitz. Oh, it's getting very easy. Hullitz now scored one and made one. And a goal for Massaro, his 2nd of the game. 3 now for Massaro this season. Milan have been a little bit more cautious in this second half. They pushed up, they caught Fiorentina in an offside trap 4 or 5 times now. Here's Van Basten. Oh, it's all over now, surely. And Marco Van Basten, who scores goals for fun, found himself 5 yards clear of the Fiorentina defence. And look how he bent that shot wide of Manini's grasp and into the net for number 5. And the match now being played at training ground pace before Milan pick it up again. Van Basten, Hullitz.
Albertini, excellent ball in, and what a finish by Ruud Gullit.
I think
that's what we've been talking about all the time, the quality of the cross. Albertini doesn't mess about, they don't close him down. He whips in a wonderful cross. There it goes. Beautiful cross coming away from Marcogiani. And what a header from Hulit. Gave Marcogiani no chance. There he is. Look at the power he gets into that. Red.
Two for Hulit now. To add to two for Massaro. One by Lentini and one for Van Basten. Fiorentina were worried that they'd conceded three. And on more occasions than most, to concede 3 goals will result in a defeat. Not today, though. Tassotti. Hulit. Oh, he thought about the shot. Tassotti is the option wide. Van Basten. That's 7. Smiles all around because they'll be talking about this performance in Florence for months and months. A clinical end to the game from a clinical player. That's finishing at his very best. That's the final kick of the game. Chuka were the last team to beat Milan at the San Siro. They always knew Van Basten and his friends would cause them problems. Atlanta's Brazilian international Alemão might have given them a surprise lead here. Alemão signed by Atlanta 3 weeks ago from Napoli, going close. The Italians can play Route 1 football when they want. Sparresi, the hard man of the Serie A, with a long pass to Van Basten. A costly miss coming up from a costly footballer. Lentini, all £13 million worth, missing there. Milan were resolutely firing blanks. 2 headers for Lentini, 1 for Rijkaard, nothing for Van Basten. Rijkaard, number 8, close to his first goal of the season. "12 minutes into the second half, Milan, who dropped Ruud Gullit for this game, take the lead. Van Basten's cross finding Massaro's head. Massaro just come on as a substitute for Dejan Savicevic. Basciulo then threatened Milan's domination of the game. But 20 minutes from the end, Van Basten makes it safe. Albertini to Rijkaard, and Van Basten's on hand for the Italian champions. 2 Dutch players combining effectively here, but a great finish once again from Van Basten. Atalanta desperately tried to find a foothold in this match. Rambaudi was unable to make an impact on the Milan goal. Resi held off with a challenge, but by then it was too late. Final score 2-0. Milan stretch their unbeaten run and make it 3 wins out of...
Back to the action, and all 3 Italian sides left in Europe were in an impressive survival.
Rijkaard. Here's Van Basten. He's created a little bit of space, and he's created a goal. 6 minutes in, Milan have the lead. And Marco Van Basten, with goal number 9 of the season, gives the champions a superb start. Corradini made the mistake. It's cost his team 15 yards. And it might cost them a goal. Here's Van Basten. 2-0. Well, Napoli have been generous to a fault at both ends of the field now. No wonder Tarantino is distraught. This was some very sloppy defending, and bear in mind Fonseca has wasted a really good chance for Napoli in this game, and now the other end they've gifted a goal to Marco Van Basten, his second of the game. Meanwhile, back on the field, Milan are attacking again with their substitute Massaro. Erodio! Well, the Napoli fans will be even more disappointed now. That surely now has taken the game beyond the grasp of Napoli. Has had a wretched afternoon trying to keep Van Basten quiet. Here's Albertini, Van Basten! Oh, while Tarantini was busy arguing with the referee, he forgot about Van Basten as well. A hat-trick now for Marco Van Basten. Since Fonseca headed over the crossbar with the entire goal at his mercy. Oh, Mauro gives it to Van Basten. That's cruel. That really is cruel. It's the first time Marco Van Basten has scored 4 goals in an Italian Serie A game.
Milan had reached the semi-finals of the Italian Cup in midweek at the expense of Torino. Perhaps their minds not totally readjusted to league action. Atalanta's Bianchesi breaking through, goalkeeper Rossi not risking a red card. The league leaders behind at San Siro after 8 minutes. Frank Rijkaard led the Milan response to that, and Atalanta was soon pressed into their own penalty area. Ruud Gullit causing the confusion this time, Daniele Massaro so close to levelling the score. And here it seemed Milan must equalise. All eyes on the ball and the referee missing a foul on Marco Van Basten as Biliardi comes to Atalanta's rescue. But Biliardi's afternoon was to disintegrate after that. First of all, he clashed with Van Basten, and this time a penalty was given. Van Basten's 8th successful shot from the spot in 9 attempts in the league this season. 2 minutes later, the Dutchman struck again, a strange goal too. In concentrating on keeping the ball down, his effort bounced extravagantly and left Peron diving in despair. And Marco hadn't finished yet, as Biliardi dithered on the ball, his 3rd hat-trick in 5 league appearances. That's phenomenal in Italy, and this one in 6 extraordinary minutes. Diego Fuser gave a dynamic display as a second-half substitute, showing a special understanding with Gullit. Peron replied with several splendid saves. Although Milan won the title last week, still the incentive for them to try to go through the entire season unbeaten, and no stumbles against already relegated Verona. Paolo Maldini brought down by Piubelli. Marco Van Basten's penalty against Napoli was saved last week. This one brought him his 23rd goal of the season. Ruud Gullit started for the first time since March the 15th, and his strength and shooting power, evidence of his full recovery from a knee injury. A tremendous goal, 2-0 in the first minute of the second half. Marco Simone on for Albertini, rocked the Verona crossbar soon after his arrival, but the greater impact came from Carlo Ancelotti, who took over from Gullit. Frank Rijkaard teed up Ancelotti's first to make it 3-0. And Ancelotti, who'll be 33 next month, hadn't finished, robbing Stojkovic and striding on to score. Much speculation about his future, but the crowd were chanting for him not to leave. Milan 4, Verona 0. Is limping, but he's already made the major impact, and judging by the anguish on his face, maybe he feels that his time in this match is limited. Massaro, if he beats the goalkeeper, and Van Basten does! Milan have hit back in the style of true champions. Lazio not allowed to rest on their laurels.
As Gullit plays the ball in, Fury makes the wrong decision, comes for it, never going to get there. Massaro gets the flick on, and Van Basten never misses those.
And Gullit still prepared to work back to win the ball for Milan. Van Basten. Rijkaard waving players into position. Tassotti, the Olays are coming out now from the crowd. Ancelotti, Juventus on the rack again. Must be so disheartening for them. They can't get close to the ball. Ancelotti, Baresi, Rijkaard. Ancelotti. And here's Donadoni. Are they going to round it all off with a goal? They are! Oh, fantastic! Simply fantastic! And it's Manari! The 19-year-old substitute came in with a flying header then, after Milan had knocked the ball around for minutes, and then suddenly found purpose to go with the possession. Donadoni cut it back, and that was a fabulous goal.
Well, Ascoli have survived the first 10 minutes or so. Still under pressure here. Van Basten, Evani, and there's the first goal. Well, no surprise. Milan in such marvellous form. Van Basten laying it off into the path of Evani. And Ascoli in trouble now. Rijkaard. Now for Colombo. 3-1. And any hope now that Bologna had of picking up a point in this game has surely gone. 3-1 to AC Milan. Colombo with an explosive shot. Evani, and he's found Baresi. It's there! And Franco Baresi, the inspirational captain of Milan.
This time, yes. It had to come. Well, it does well to get the cross in. The goalkeeper stranded, and Massaro got to it. Pull it again. Not dwelling on the immediate past. Really playing like an old-fashioned right winger, Massaro. And Rijkaard only just. His cross won't reach Rijkaard this time. Oh! An amazing goal! Pull it for Massaro and Van Basten. And Marco Van Basten, whose 22nd goal of the season, embroidered that 5-1 masterpiece.
I think we have played a lot of good games against Rome here, against today against Sampdoria, against Napoli. That were nice games. We played very good tactically. We played very good together. Nice combinations and nice goals. I think that's what the public expects.
Your best goal?
My best goal?
Can you think of the best goal yet?
Here in Italy?
In this year?
Oh, this year? I don't know. It's best. It's always difficult because one want to see a nice goal, the other want to see an important goal. I think an important goal is give more satisfaction.
Again, you have scored many goals. You have scored with your head, you have scored with your feet, and you have scored free kicks. Which is your favourite?
Oh, I like the free kick because I never done it before, so that was a great satisfaction.
That free kick came with Baggio-like bend against Bari, Van Basten's 5th season in Italy, his best. Milan's 1-year ban. Van Basten. Cracks are appearing at the back for Roma, and they're getting wider and wider. Pullit's cross. Massaro this time, no. Van Basten this time, yes. It had to come. With 15 minutes to go to half-time, Roma had been on the rack. And they capitulated finally. Hard on Schiavone, who'd made another fine save. But he was still trying to get himself back on his feet when Marco van Basten buried the chance. Finally for Milan.
Yeah, it was a good cross by Ruud Gullit. He seems to be getting a lot of joy down that right-hand side. Schiavone made another outstanding save. You know, my deepest sympathies for him because he is playing well at the moment and probably could have been 3 or 4 even at this stage of the game.
Now Costa Curta, everyone wanting the ball for Milan, which is always such a healthy sign. Rijkaard. Well, it does well to get the cross in. The goalkeeper stranded and Massaro got to it. Daniele Massaro. It's 2-0. And he had also been threatening to embarrass Roma. And having come close 2 or 3 times, this is his moment of joy. Pull it again. Not dwelling on the immediate past. And really playing like an old-fashioned right winger, Massaro. And Rijkaard, only just. It is 3-0 and Rijkaard is the scorer. But Massaro went for the better angle. And although the goalkeeper stopped his shot, Rijkaard following in. The bullet made it all happen. And Rijkaard, with a gaping goal, almost put it over the top.
It's funny, Martin, as we speak, I mean, that is a hallmark of a truly great world-class player. In 1 minute, you've seen Gullit just, you know, push the ball over the top. In the next minute, he's gone around 3 players out and up there. He's put a splendid weighted ball into Massaro, who's shot the keeper's, poor Schiavone's made a great save. And then, you know, no defenders around him. And
this time the goalkeeper punches out of the penalty area. Sassotti's cross won't reach Rijkaard this time. Oh! An amazing goal for Milan, and it's 4-1. And Roma cannot believe their cruel fortune. It was Costa Curta who came onto this through the crowd. And Schiavone this time was rooted to the spot.
Bullet. Now Tassotti. Bullet again. Neat little pass set up to Tassotti. And a spanking try by Ruud Gullit. What a goal. Oh, fabulous strike by Gullit. Well, you write this man off at your peril. Magnificent goal by Gullit.
I don't think you should write off AC Milan. What a wonderful goal. Obviously Milan showing that the backs were up against the wall. They've been defending in a lot of numbers, getting men behind the ball. Obviously, as I said before, Roma showing themselves susceptible to the counter-attack. I think it was Tassotti down the right-hand side. Plays the ball back, and Gullit comes up to it. I thought his first touch actually let him down, but what a marvellous finish. Finish of the highest calibre from indeed a top-quality player.
Second touch wasn't bad, was it? Incredible.
One of Italy's most experienced officials. It's knocked down well. Oh, and a brilliant goal by Simone from Van Basten's header. That's Milan to a T. Absolutely wonderful play. And they're in the groove straight away. And Simone continues this splendid run of his own with great help from Van Basten, whose angled header was into the stride of Simone. He was challenged, but not put off. And there was nothing Zanetti could do about it. Van Basten using his brain to sense where Simone was coming, and the outside of his head to angle the ball absolutely superbly, and Roma rocked by that.
I think he can be one of the only guys that are happy with his performance in the forwards anyway. Simone, he looked very, very sharp, and he was a little bit unfortunate there not to get across him.
Taking the corner now. Uranio with the header, and Papin has scored. And once again, Milan has snicked it right at the death. 5 minutes to go, and it's Papin with his 9th goal of the season, and Milan, having so nearly conceded a goal a few minutes ago with a missed penalty, and snatched it again.
There it is again, the ball coming in from Simone, and I think this is the 4th corner in a row that Milan have had that they've actually won possession of the ball. They're not a big side today, and there we see Papin very acrobatically heading over.
Our young Perini, who is nonetheless an outstanding prospect, and he was called up by Saki for the international squad a couple of matches ago. It goes Papin! Oh! Breathtaking football, and what a finish by Papin.
I think this is another one of those Milan masterclasses we're seeing this afternoon. The pass from Maldini with the outside of his left foot that sends, I can't remember who it was that crossed the ball, but it's a fantastic pass with the outside of his left foot. An early ball whipped in, and there was Papin diving very bravely. It's Lentini whips it in. The earlier the better, and as it comes in, there's Papin. That's a very brave header.
Des Walker was the covering defender. He could do nothing about that. No real chance of Sampdoria coming back now, but seeking a consolation goal. And hoping they don't concede anymore. They still might. Massaro, off goes Papin. Walker is with him. Papin got the bitter off him. And rides in number 4. 2 for Papin, 2 for Lentini. And Milan's dominance is complete.
What a fantastic goal. I think it's Massaro that gives it to Papin, and he shows tremendous strength for a little fella. Their own Des Walker's putting him under an immense amount of pressure. There's the ball from Massaro. I thought Des was going to win it there, but Papin shows tremendous strength. Cuts on Des's left side, and again it's this early shot. He strikes it early, and it cannons in off the near post.
And Albertini's come in and he's doing his job. He sits in midfield and just prompts play. Very tough character as well.
This is Baconi. Now Boban. Good interception by him, finding Papin. Oh! Fabulous strike by Papin. Hardly hesitated before smacking the ball in. Goal number 12 for Papin this season. And what a master craftsman he is.
Oh, what a great goal. So many of his goals in recent weeks have been struck first time, and here's another example of this. Great through ball from Boban. He's peeled away from his marker and doesn't hesitate, smashes it first time. Goalkeeper no chance, didn't expect it.
It left the goalkeeper absolutely motionless. The first time strike by Papin, and it was lethal.
Rossi and the ball. It took Marco Simone to show how to get a shot on target. With 71 minutes gone, Milan silenced the home crowd. Jean-Pierre Papin has scored 10 goals in his last 10 games since replacing the injured Marco van Basten. But this, his first in the Champions Cup, can hardly be better. It was a brilliant volley that even Van Basten would have been proud of. So 6 points out of 6 now for Milan in Group B.
All-conquering Milan faced Fiorentina at the San Siro. Paolo Maldini twice threatened the Fiorentina goal from set pieces early in the game. But the champions were fortunate not to concede a goal after 15 minutes. Milan given a taste of their own medicine as their defence was placed under pressure. Batistuta was eventually denied by Rossi's right boot. Fiorentina seemed determined to avenge their 7-3 thrashing by Milan in October. Carnasciali's shot again forced Rossi into making a save. Eranio replaced the injured Tassotti and was soon making his presence felt. Dejan Savicevic also had a point to prove. His contribution to the match would later be decisive. Fiorentina continued their search for a goal in the second half. Rossi foiled Batistuta before Brian Laudrup dragged his shot wide. Orlando's challenge forced Donadoni to leave the contest. And seconds later, Lupi's obvious foul on Savicevic went unpunished. But Savicevic wasn't to be denied a goal. The Montenegrin losing his marker Lupi to score a la Papin on 66 minutes. Here is the Frenchman now, cynically brought down by Facenda, who was sent off for the foul.
Even with 10 men, the away side ploughed forward. Batistuta, unfortunate to see his goal ruled out for offside. The Argentinian was in an onside position when the ball was played. Orlando wasn't. 2 minutes from full time, Savicevic rounded off a fine display with an outstanding solo goal to seal Milan's victory. The former Yugoslav international has now scored 4 goals in 6 Serie A appearances.
And certainly enjoying a fair share of the spoils in midfield. Now have to face Hullet in full cry. Shalamov's run with him. And here comes Van Basten. Brilliant.
Costa Curta can't afford a mistake. And here's Hullet in space now. A shooting chance. And Hullet scores. It's 1-1. 7 minutes to go. And Milan have pulled it back. There's another roar going around the ground. Well, that means Inter have conceded another one, I don't know. Albertini. Rijkaard. Now I think they're just celebrating Milan's success. Rijkaard to Hullet. Here's Donadoni. Rijkaard. Albertini. That's a good strike. Oh, what a fabulous goal. Right out of the blue. What a shot then by Albertini. Stunned faces among the pressure players. And what, it's done Liam Brady alongside me too.
They do tend to sit back and concentrate on the defensive side of their play. Saki directing operations from the standing position now. And Hullet too quick for Gutierrez. Van Basten! A very simple goal in its execution. But the heart of the matter was the change of speed that Hullet was able to find. He went into overdrive. And Van Basten had pulled away at the far post, lost his marker in doing so, and sensibly angled the header across the goalkeeper. Chiara. Good tackle by Tassotti. Donadoni for Rezi, sensing the moment to stride forward again. Rijkaard was wrong-footed for a second. I wonder where they're going to play him when Hullet is back. Everyone really playing for their places. And when you play like this, you're going to stay in the side. Virdis gets his second. That was nigh on perfection.
So the pressure stays on Torino.